welcome back to Reliving Retro. It's Season 2, Episode 11. We played Bully this week, and we are joined by a very special guest. I'll allow her to introduce herself. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Liv. I am one half of Between Two Gamers. My bestie is getting his beauty sleep over in the UK, and I'm from Between Two Gamers. So thank you for having me on to talk about Bully.
Of course. So just a couple getting to know you questions here. What would you say your introduction to gaming was? Maybe your first console, how'd you get it, that kind of thing? How old were you?
My first console was a Nintendo 64. And I don't know why we had it in my house. And I preface that because my first real gaming memory is with the GameCube. And I know that I asked for that.
Okay.
And the whole reason why I got this game was my parents bought me NBA Street with the Mario characters in them.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So my father is a huge football fan. So he was like, oh, kids like Mario, right? So he bought this game.
Correct.
And I was like, I have to beat Mario. How am I going to beat Mario? I'm looking through the teams. I picked the Lakers because they're purple.
Mm-hmm.
I won. I'm a Laker fan for life.
That's how it works,
that
right?
is my true introduction to gaming, even though I know I had the Nintendo 64, but I can't explain why we owned it.
I mean, around that time, that was probably the right team to pick, just based on color, I guess, right?
Yeah, right. You did all right.
I think about this every day. Like, what if I lost? What if I picked a different team? Who would I be? Like, we're on the East Coast, and the Lakers are obviously on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I spend so many days just waiting for the game to end at 2, 3 a.m.
It's rough. It's rough watching West Coast basketball over here because sometimes it doesn't start till like 10 o'clock at night.
10:30.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, okay, so this is a thing I'm not gonna watch today.
I don't have a choice.
I mean,
dedication, huh?
What's the point of watching?
Yeah, all because I
basketball?
swore my allegiance to that fucking video game.
It's funny how it happens, but that's how it works. Essentially, my dad brainwashed me to be a Jets fan, so I mean, at least you had a choice.
I'm a New York Giants fan in the similar way, but basketball, my family is just strictly football. So,
oh, gotcha.
The reason why I had this game because my dad was like, "Oh, it's cool. The Mario characters are in it," and I was like, "I gotta win. I gotta beat Mario. He's like the guy."
Right.
So I won, and so I'm a Laker fan.
It's awesome. What would you say your favorite types of games to play are? Like your favorite genres?
Okay. So, I either like the most gut-wrenching, emotional video game ever, or I like the dumbest thing possibly made. So,
okay.
Ends of my spectrums are The Last of Us, Monster Prom.
Monster Prom?
I don't know that one.
Do you know what? You don't know what Monster Prom is?
It sounds like a game that we might have to put on our list, though.
Hold on. Let me tell you about Monster Prom. Furry, if you are listening to this, he is shaking his head. Monster Prom is a visual novel game. And the whole point of the game, you are a monster in high school trying to get a date to prom. Now, the game is all about your choices and your stats based on a personality quiz that you take in the intro. And you are trying to score a date to prom. And it's all about your choices. People can die. People will reject you. You can find love. You can conquer the world. The game is written by people that took crack. I mean, like, honestly, it is the most random thing ever.
Is this a DS game?
You can buy it on Steam. It's like $12.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
There's Monster Prom 1, Monster Prom 2, Monster Prom 3 on the way.
Oh wow! So they did really well, huh? They had to make a three-peat.
Yeah, it's their theme. So the first game is Monster Prom, the second one's like Monster Camp, and the third one is like Monster Road Trip. It has a demo on Steam. My girlfriend was much better at completing the demo than I was. We didn't make it through the road trip, but I either like stuff that's like really silly and takes your mind off of stuff in a creative way, because with visual novels, if your characters and your dialogue are really flat, it fails. But if it's very dramatic and the characters are really eccentric, it carries it through the point and click type of ordeal.
Yeah.
And then
Gotcha.
with narrative driven games, I like to feel connected to the characters and play through their narrative arc. So it's either very serious or the complete opposite. Anything in between is like, not for me.
Like, why bother?
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. I gotta say, I haven't played that type of game yet, but I'm interested. I think it'd be a really fun episode to do.
If you want to talk about Monster Prom, hit me up. I love that game.
Will do.
Throw it on the master list.
So bring you back for season 3. All right. So this week though, we played Bully, and real quick, Yaiser, any prior experience with this game before this week?
No, I never played it, but I do remember the game.
Yeah, you had heard about it at least when you were a kid.
Yeah,
I played it. I played it quite a bit, I think, when I was a kid. I didn't remember a whole lot of it. I just kind of remembered like the setting and what some of the characters looked like and some of the things you could do, but I don't remember like any of the storyline. And Liv, you played it before, correct?
Yes. So this was one of the games I bought in the beginning of the pandemic when all of the video game companies were like, everyone's at home, let's give them a sale.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought the game and I played half of it. So I never finished it just because there was a ton of games that came out during the time that I wanted to play.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So Yaiser, how many hours did you play?
Like just under 4. I'd say right around 4 hours.
Yeah, I played probably either just under 3 or right around 3 this week. I've never beaten this game before. I didn't get to beat it this week. Yaiser, you didn't beat it, right?
No, I didn't.
And Liv, how many hours did you play this week, and have you ever beaten the game?
Probably a little more than that because of the side quests. But no, I haven't beaten the game, but I find it very enjoyable.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so let's get into the ratings. First up, we have story. Yaiser, you want to kick us off? Story here?
Yeah, sure. I thought the story was pretty cool. I didn't get all the way through the game, but I looked up a video that pretty much took you all the way through the whole storyline quests of the game. And basically you meet this jerk off named Gary, who I think you're supposed to kind of not trust right away.
I definitely didn't trust him at all.
Right?
Yeah.
He's the overall bad guy. He's got this ultimate plan to take over the school, but really he just uses you to take over these factions and then make shit up about you.
Oh yeah,
some super high school fucking drama shit.
Yeah.
But in the end you fuck him up and everybody's friends at the end. I thought the story was pretty cool. I'm stuck here between I'll stay where I wrote. I'll go with a 4.
All right, 4. Pretty good rating.
Almost at a 4.5.
Yeah,
because it's pretty cool.
4 out of 5 or 4 out of 10?
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Okay,
4
okay,
stars.
okay.
Yeah, everything's out of 5.
Okay, okay.
So I landed at 4.5 actually.
That was close.
Yeah, and I think it's such an accurate portrayal of high school drama.
Yeah,
really. They did a really good job, and I think it's really funny. This game actually came out as Canis Canem Edit in Europe because apparently activists saw the name bully and they just assumed that you played the role of a bully in the game. I think it probably didn't help that it was Rockstar and obviously their whole reputation between having GTA and stuff like that, where you obviously play like a career criminal.
Yeah.
So obviously the name bully I think kind of rubbed people the wrong way. So they called it Canis Canem Edit, and that means dog eat dog in Latin. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But it's funny because the story has nothing to do with you being a bully. You are trying to stop all the bullies. You're the good kid. But it's funny because I guess at the very beginning, like the very beginning cutscene, it does seem like you're the one that's going to be the bully little bit.
Yeah, you're the bad kid.
Yeah, because you're in like the back seat of the car and like mouthing off to your mom and like the stepdad a little bit. And, like they're going on this honeymoon, which is the reason why you're even going to this like boarding school in the first place. And it's, I don't know. I thought the story was really, really good. So yeah, I landed on 4.5. Yeah. What about you, Liv?
It's funny that you mentioned the alternate title because my girlfriend lives in the UK and I was like, oh, I'm playing this game. And she's like, oh, I've never heard of it. And then I described it and she's like, do you mean this game? And I was like, I don't think so. But I think it's really funny that countries do that. But I would say, I'll go 4. I think it's a 4. Because, I mean, like, if it was a 5, if it was a true 5, I would have finished the game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because if you hook me with the characters or the plot, I am going to go all the way with it. But I think it's really fun. I like my silly high school dating, but also be like a menace to society game. So I really enjoyed the aspect of making pranks, but also socializing in the universe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I thought it was really cool that you could go to class and you could do.
Yes, my freshman year I did that.
Yeah, so this is moving, I guess, into gameplay a little bit.
Failed English 1, man. I don't know if I'm dumb or what.
I was playing it and I looked at Kay and I'm like, this is kind of tough. Am I stupid? This is kind of tough. I did pass it. I just barely passed it.
I didn't, man.
Yeah, but they handed some. That was kind of tricky. I didn't get the longest word for sure.
Oh, dude, yeah, I struggled. I definitely didn't get the longest one.
I love the mini games.
Yeah,
I think it was science, which was all QTEs.
Say that again.
Was it science class that was all QTEs? I remember I don't
remember doing science.
So science, you make potions. There's buttons that scroll across the screen.
Yeah. Yep. Stupidly good at science.
Yep. Okay, I do remember that one. Yeah, that one's fun. I like the art one too.
Yeah, that was pretty easy.
That's a game. That's like a legit like game. Like a I don't remember what it's called, but I've played it before. Like on like one of those like touchscreen games that you play in the bars.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
On Murph's little thing, maybe.
Well, yeah. Oh yeah, it's Cody's, but yeah.
Oh, it is Cody's?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was actually my aunt's, but
anyway. Oh, cool.
But yeah, so I guess we're transitioning a little bit here into gameplay and all the mini games, all the different things you can do. You can do like go-kart racing. You can
race no go-karts.
You can box. There's mowing lawns. You can deliver papers.
Moneymaker.
you can there's like a soccer mini game. There's so many different things you can do, not to mention like the arcade cabinets that are around.
Oh yeah, my favorite one was the racing cabinet in your beach house. Once they give you the beach house.
There's a racing cab. There's a racing cab in wait, was the one you did like a sit down one?
Yeah, you like sit down in it, and then it's like you got these rocket cars, and you shoot like missiles at the other cars. And
it's top down, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that one's in like that one was in like your room, like at the very beginning of the game too.
I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, not in your room, but like in that area.
Yeah, I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, that game is exactly like RC Pro-Am for the NES.
Oh,
that game's a ton of fun. I actually love that NES game. So I loved the arcade game there.
It might have been a different one in your beach house because it reminded me a lot like F-Zero. There were like turbo spaces you could hit, and you like fly super fast. And
really?
You shoot rockets and stuff at the other cars.
Yeah, you could do that in the other one.
Okay,
I loved the boxing.
I didn't like the boxing.
You didn't like it?
No.
Why were you bad?
I wasn't bad. No, I beat everybody, but like I don't know. I liked fighting. All right, let's just get into gameplay, right?
Yeah, we're getting into it right now.
So peak gameplay for me in this game was the fight with Russell.
Okay.
Like the lead bully when he like you followed Gary all the way down into like the sewer or whatever to fight Russell. Like that was like peak of gameplay for this game for me. If it felt like a boss fight, he had the big name up top with the big health bar. It was like, oh shit, this is my wheelhouse here. This is like a Dark Souls boss fight, and it took me like 3 or 4 tries to beat him. But then like the boxing, it felt like I don't know, kind of a little corny, but it's okay. It was all right.
I told you in the beginning, I like stupid, emotionally wrecking.
Yeah.
In between gray area.
So I think also like as far as gameplay, I gave it a 3.5, only because some of the missions, like the running back and forth, like get this for me, deliver this here, and some of it wasn't all that great, but there were some parts that were like really cool. So I think 3.5 is where I'm gonna land. I think, I think that's all right.
Liv, what about you for gameplay?
I think it depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking to just beeline the story, I feel like you'll probably rate it higher. But if you're lower, because if you want a diversity, it's definitely higher. Because like if you want to make money to go on dates or buy clothes,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta dress the part in boarding school. There's a whole ordeal. You got Jimmy with the side hat, the low hanging jeans. Man, my guy looks so good.
I tried to wear the ninja costume when it wasn't Halloween. Everybody was just laughing at me, so I just went right back to my closet and switched. I was like, "This fucking sucks, man. I gotta change my clothes."
I wore my low hanging jeans, hat to the side, crew neck. I looked fucking good. You know why? Because I mowed those lawns. I delivered those newspapers. I be kissing bitches at the movies.
Yeah.
So
I had to skip all the side quests because I was trying to like record the gameplay. You know what I mean? So I was trying to get through as much of the story as I could.
Why are you trying to tell me mowing lawns is boring? I mean, you gotta get that money.
I don't know if it's boring. I never did it even once. I ignored all the side quest people. No,
she's appalled.
I know. I'm sorry. I was trying to like record a gameplay video. I wanted to get as far as I could.
I didn't mow a lawn either. Yeah.
I mean, I've mowed lawns
money
before.
Maker. Were you poor the whole game?
Well, yeah. So basically,
poor.
I didn't really need to spend money either. I bought a cool bike.
So we only have a week to play the game. So we basically try to get through as much of the story as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I won't shame you anymore.
But to be fair, I did spend a lot of time on the arcade cabinets. Which I probably shouldn't. So like Yaiser, you said you played what, about 4 hours?
Yeah.
I played about 3. I probably should have got almost to where you were, and I don't think I was even close.
I probably should have got if I wanted to, but the story was so good. I watched every single cutscene, full on. I didn't skip any of it unless I died and had to do it again.
Yeah. So Liv, what score did you give gameplay out of 5?
If you're beelining with story, I feel like you're gonna give it a
No, how do you feel?
3.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Yeah, this is your
the
feelings.
way I played the story.
Yeah,
I had
you
a
rate it how you
great
feel about
time making money, going on dates, being a minute. I loved collecting marbles and just tripping random people. I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
Nice.
I am surprised that I'm the highest. I gave it a 5.
A 5?
I gave it a 5.
What?
Dude, the actual gameplay of going through the storyline and stuff like that, that's a lot of fun. The fighting mechanics are really, really good. They're way better than Grand Theft Auto's fighting mechanics. You can grab, which I don't think you can do in Grand Theft Auto. You can tackle and take them down to the ground, like full-on UFC takedowns.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's been a while for me with GTA.
And so just that alone is really good. And all of the mini games, all of the stuff that you can do on the side, this game has so much to offer. I couldn't not give it a 5 because you can go back and you can play through the story if you want to. You can go back and just like Liv is saying, you can do all these other stuff on the side and completely be content with playing the game that way. And all of the mini games, it's not like crappy little games that they put in just to make it feel like there's something extra.
Yeah.
They're quality games. They feel like an actual game. Like I said, the one arcade game that I spent probably an hour on. It's RC Pro-Am, but it's better. It's a better version of a game for the NES that I already loved.
Yeah.
So I mean, the fact that they had all those little games in it that were good games within themselves, I'm like, this is a really good game for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I gave it a 5.
Did you make it to the carnival? Did you play all the carnival games?
I didn't.
Oh, that was.
I was at the carnival.
Yeah, that was
But I watched a ton of gameplay. I just didn't.
Games.
Yeah, I just didn't get a chance to actually get there.
Wow. So that's interesting that you thought the gameplay was better than GTA, and almost the whole time I was playing the game, I was like, I wish I could just jump in a helicopter and just blow everybody the fuck up.
Well, no. I mean? So I'm
how
not
old are you in this game?
But you know what I mean? I don't know. It was there was something missing for me. Because it felt like GTA, but it wasn't I felt like I was missing something. You felt like it was a little bit better. I just think that's
PG-13 version
interesting.
of GTA, but
right,
minus the dialogue because that's definitely M.
Yeah. It is funny. The game I think is rated T for teen.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think it's M, but yeah, there is a little bit of little sketchy parts in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not saying necessarily that the actual like gameplay itself is better than GTA.
Okay.
But I think the fighting, the hand-to-hand combat part of it is better than GTA.
Yeah. That's probably true.
Because in GTA you can only punch.
Yeah.
And then when they're on the floor, you can kick them. And in comparison, like
we can also get Molotov cocktails and
bats and sure, but you can get weapons in this game too. Obviously,
marbles.
They're not like marbles and
I love tripping people on those marbles. It was so dumb, but I loved it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think it just offered a ton, so I had to give the gameplay a really high score.
I love it, dude. I just like how we saw it so differently in school. That's why we do the show, right?
Yeah, that's why we do it.
Wide variety for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And you could certainly play it like a certain way, you know? Like if you wanted to just be like a menace, you bring out that sling, bring out the marbles, but like if you didn't want to, you didn't have to.
Right.
Oh yeah, so that's another point too. I guess you could kind of strengthen or weaken your relationships with certain cliques, kind of based on what side missions that you do.
Right.
Does it help at all? Like if I see a nerd getting beat up by a jock and I go beat up the jocks, does that strengthen the relationship? Not officially, right?
It doesn't show you,
right? So but it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
So I would do that.
It depends who you want to identify as in that run.
You know what I really liked doing?
What?
Robbing lockers.
I did that all the
time. Every time I saw a red dot in front of a locker, I'm still this motherfucker shit.
Yeah, it's cool that you could you could pick locks.
Yeah,
that's another point for gameplay.
Yeah,
just one more thing that they just threw in there that you could do for some reason.
That was cool.
The game was so full of different things that you could do, like just walking
people wedgies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I never gave anybody a wedgie. That sounds.
Gave someone a wedgie in this game.
Yeah, and then
I walked up to someone and there was a button to click. I clicked it.
and you could kiss girls for extra help.
For help, yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Loved it.
So, like I said, there's so many things that you could do in this game. I couldn't not give it a 5. It's funny. I let my daughter play it for a second just because she's like, "What game are you playing this week?" And I'm like, "Here, it's Bully. You want to try it out?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." So she went to art class. I kept thinking she was navigating the map perfectly and getting to art class. No, she just kept getting caught while she was late, and it just brings you to class, which is actually kind of a cool mechanic. Because, which is actually kind of a cool mechanic. If you want to go to the class, then you just get caught on purpose and just get brought to class instead of
fast travel.
Yeah, exactly. So she kept doing she did art class and she thought that was a lot of fun. And then after art class, she won the ability, I guess, to give somebody a gift. And when you give a woman, a girl a gift, you get a kiss. And so she kissed the girl, and I'm like, "Did you just kiss that girl?" And she's just like, "It told me to. It told me to kiss the girl."
That's funny.
Yeah, but she liked it. She thought it was hilarious.
I kissed the girl.
I liked it.
All right, let's move over to visuals. Yaiser, how'd you feel?
I thought it. I don't know if it was the emulator or not, but I don't know. It was a little. The edges were a little jagged but I think the stuff I saw on YouTube, it looked a little bit smoother than in my emulator. But
I thought the emulator was a little janky. Sometimes it would skip a little bit.
Yeah.
But I did the same thing. I watched gameplay on YouTube and I didn't see that issue, so I assumed it was the emulator.
Oh, did you? Speaking of the racing game, did you ever get blown up in it?
Yeah.
Did your emulator slow way the fuck down? And then when you came back, it went back to dude. That fucked my emulator up, dude. It's way too much for my emulator. But visually, I mean, it was pretty cool. But I don't know. I went with 3.5 here because it was just. It wasn't. It didn't look bad, but it didn't. It wasn't anything that was blowing my mind visually.
Yeah. Well, I tried to compare it to GTA because it's hard not to. It's an open world Rockstar game. It's going to be kind of hard not to compare it to GTA.
Yeah.
And I think for the most part, character and stuff like that, I thought all that stuff looked better than GTA. However, I had it I was going to put it at a 4.5, but I knocked it down to a 4 because most of the scenery and stuff looked, very similar.
Yeah.
Obviously, until you get to like the sewers and then like the carnival and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
all the school looks really just kind of the same. So there wasn't a
Right.
lot different that they had going on there, but that's
Mhm.
just kind of setting. So it's kind of tough to like really blame them for that. But I ended up giving it a 4, and I felt good about that score. What about you, Liv?
I played this game 2 years ago. So I
Mhm.
feel like if I played it at the time of release, I would have been like, "Oh my god, this is great."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
looked
I
awesome.
feel like at that time, I probably would have been more inclined to say like a 4 or 5. But because I know personally I have a hard time grading like graphics for previous console, I'm gonna say like
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
a 3.
Yeah.
But I know
Okay.
that's a personal bias. I know that for a fact. But I mean,
You had
I
a hard
never
time looking at it?
Yeah. So I feel like if this game got remastered, I'd be all over that day one.
Yeah.
But I know that I bought the PS2 version on the PS4 on sale during the pandemic, and I know that I shouldn't have really high expectations. But it's really hard to play a game on the PS4 like The Last of Us Part 2 and then play
Right.
Bullies.
Yeah,
So I'm just
right.
like, it's so hard. So I feel like if I played it earlier in life, I would have had like a 4 to 5 range. But because of the time that I played it, I'm going to give it a 3, which is unfair. But
No, I mean
No.
it's your score.
yeah,
I don't disagree.
I feel
And
like gaming
honestly-
came a long way. So it's really hard to like
Yeah, that's
judge
true.
like current gaming against like its previous.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
So usually when I talk about visuals, I kind of try to compare them to other games of that generation or other games on that console.
Mhm.
And so I think that's why I gave it a 4, because I feel like comparing it to GTA, who is made by, it's not technically the same developers. This other company, I can't remember the name of it, but they were acquired by Rockstar, and so they became Rockstar Vancouver, and that was actually their first
Oh, right.
game under Rockstar's umbrella.
Yeah.
But yeah, they weren't technically the same people that developed GTA. It was like a whole different team.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But anyway, to me, it's still fair to compare this game to GTA. It's still got that Rockstar label. It's still on the same console and around the same era as like San Andreas and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I feel like visually, character models and stuff look better in this game, I thought, than they did in the GTA games. So
I get it.
yeah, I gave it a 4 because I thought it looked good.
That's fair.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right. Sound. I'll get it started with sound, I guess. I feel like the sound effects were fine. They did kind of what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And as far as music, it didn't really blow me away, but I do feel that there were like a couple pretty cool tracks. Actually, I kind of love like it's almost like a synth bass kind of sound, like when you're just chilling, like in your room, like when you come back from like like when you load your game up. And I kind of like really liked that sound, but I don't know. There was nothing crazy here, and it was really nothing that like I said, like blew me away. Like normally when I think sound, I think like amazing soundtracks and that kind of thing. Like Donkey Kong Country has an amazing soundtrack, Castlevania, amazing soundtrack. Those get 5s, but like Bully just kind of gets a 3.5, and I feel like that's fine.
3.5 is fine.
Yeah. What do you got, Yaiser?
I went with a 4 because I feel the same way you do about the music. Like it was the music and the sound effects. Like there were a couple of times where like a certain mission where the music was like, oh, this is pretty cool or whatever. But like I gave it a 4 because of I think the voice acting was.
I knew it.
Like,
I knew you were gonna say voice acting, and I knew I forgot to consider that.
It was great, dude. It was great.
Oh,
so I went.
I'm upping it
with 4.
I'm upping it to 4 because I forgot to consider that.
I
knew
man.
once
it was awesome.
I knew once you said that, I was like, I always forget to consider voice acting as a part of it.
Yeah, well,
because I always go soundtrack first, and then I'm like, then sound effects, and then whatever. But the guy who played Gary sounded so familiar to me, and I couldn't think of who it was. I ended up looking up on IMDb, and I have no idea who this dude is. So it's not anybody I know. But
like a few different characters sounded so familiar, but they're probably just like nobody I know. But they just I don't know. They sounded like people that I could know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. The voice acting was like spot on for this. So
Yeah.
I had to give it a pretty good.
Peter Vack played Gary Smith. I don't know who this man is, but
Shouts to you, Peter.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, but I thought he sounded really familiar. And actually, Liv, when you came in to the studio and you heard us talking, I was saying that if they ever made a bully movie, for some reason I could just picture Dave Franco playing that Gary role.
That was the reference you were making. All I heard was you guys talking about Dave Franco, and it was like, he was in that magic movie.
Yeah. And I added you to the studio, and you just come in and you're like, yeah, Dave Franco. Yep. And I'm like, oh yeah, she heard us talking about Dave Franco. That's weird. But yeah, so I don't know. I think this would make a pretty decent movie, honestly.
I think it could. Dude, I watched all the cuts. I didn't skip a single cutscene. I was like, I really wanted to hear it all, you know?
Yeah. Liv, would you give the sound?
I feel like I'm going to give it a 3 because when I think sound, I think voice acting, I think sound design, and then I think sound effects.
Okay.
And I think the dialogue in this game is great. Like, if you want like sarcastic, if you want mean dialogue, you're gonna get it. And then like the sound effects are what they are, and sound design for this is going to be last, just because I feel like you didn't have 3D audio, whatever. So I feel like I might be being a little overcritical, but I think if you want to have fun in this game, if you just want to like play and you just want to experience the story, you're going to enjoy this game more than if you're looking for all of, oh, did they do this or do they do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think you could definitely mow some lawns with the sound muted, and you would still enjoy this game just the same.
I'm on this quest right now. If you can recommend me a game that I can play and listen to music or a podcast to, like, please send it my way, because Fall Guys is not working for me.
I would recommend a game I always used to play with the sound off, and I would listen to with music. Number one is World of Warcraft. I used to do that all the time.
Oh, but some of the
music. Relax, buddy. It's fine. And number two
did you play Wrath? Did you play Wrath?
I did.
You didn't think all the music in the Wrath zones were? Did you quest in Grizzly Hills?
Yes, I did.
The music there is
it's fine,
awesome.
Buddy. It's fine. Right. I would just throw on Metallica and Quest.
Yeah, you don't smoke weed. I forgot.
No, I don't. And what was I saying? Oh, Roller Coaster Tycoon, I think is another one.
Yeah, that was my game growing up.
Yeah,
oh, like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 was the best.
That's another great game if you want to just mute it and throw some music on.
Oh yeah,
my
mute games are The Sims, but you got to be in the mood to play The Sims.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just like boot it up on a random day and play for half an hour. Like, you got to be committed.
I've been playing that one with my daughter for a bit.
Which Sims?
The Sims 3 for Xbox 360.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yep. Yeah.
That's so adorable. Like, my dad doesn't even know how to delete an email without assistance. So, like, I had to get in gaming all on my own. So that's when funny. People are like, my girlfriend's mom knows how to play Animal Crossing, and she like turns on the Switch and like logs in and does her stuff, I'd be like, how? Can she teach my parents?
That's funny. Yeah, my mom is actually like, she was into video games. Like, they owned an NES before I was even born. They bought us a Super Nintendo for Christmas, and instead of putting it under the tree, they hid it under the couch so they could open it up and play it when we went to bed.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
Yeah, they actually, and they owned a like an Intellivision, like way before I was born too. So my parents were into gaming quite a bit.
I had to do that all on my own.
my mom has a Switch now for Pokemon Snap.
Oh, Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, because she loves the Pokemon Snap games.
Getting my dad to fill out a Google form every week for our NFL fantasy like family pool is a challenge. So I can't even I can't imagine. So when people like my age are like, "Oh, my dad's a computer engineer," I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, can they teach my dad? Do they give lessons?
That's hilarious. Does he still have a flip phone?
He would if he like didn't have to use emojis. My father like is technologically illiterate but loves emojis. So like, if you want to really understand what he's saying, you got to look at the emojis.
That's too funny. All right, let's move over to aged. How well did this game age?
Ooh.
Yaiser, why don't you go ahead?
I gave this game a score in the aged category.
This is good. This is good. I like this. Go ahead.
4 stars. I thought it aged pretty well.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a couple things of dialogue maybe that aged it a little bit that probably wouldn't fly nowadays.
Yeah, agreed.
They're changing that for GTA 6.
I saw that.
That's cool. But yeah, I thought it played really well. It played super smooth, and like it definitely didn't feel like an old game.
Right.
It may have looked a little bit like an older game, but like it played really well.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also gave it a 4 because other than the obvious like graphic limitation that they had, right? Like, they can't make it look better than it could on the PS2.
Yeah.
So other than that, I didn't feel like I was playing an old game at all. I also gave it a 4. Liv?
Yeah, I'm with 4.
Cool.
Nice.
Absolutely.
4s across the board. Very, very
Yep.
nice.
Queen sweep.
Queen sweep?
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. All right. So as far as final scores go,
how'd we do?
Liv was the lowest on this game at a 3.6.
The lowest?
Yeah, Yaiser was in the middle at a 3.8, and I, surprisingly enough, was at a 4.3.
Oh, you gave a 5 for fucking
The gameplay is so good.
All right.
It's so good. Like I could go
I'm
back
very
upstairs
critical, and I know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we appreciate the criticalness of it, I guess, right? Because I always put out something on our Twitter kind of saying like, we're reviewing this game this week, like let us know your thoughts and opinions on it or whatever, and how many stars would you give it out of 5? Almost everybody always gives every game I ask us like a 5-star, almost all the time.
Here's the thing, it's all about perspective, because I'm between two gamers. I know that I am story oriented, and I personally don't care if the gameplay is bad. If there's one gun, one melee, one superpower, fine. If the story and the character is really compelling, like Alan Wake. Have you played that game?
Love Alan Wake.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite games, I think, of all time.
Alan Wake is plot very good. Gameplay maddening. It's horrible.
It's very simple, yeah.
To light someone up and then shoot them, okay, great. You got to collect batteries and then you shoot them, okay. There's not a lot of variety. It's kind of bland, but the story makes it.
The story's very good.
So
my wife watched me play that game, and she just felt like she was watching a movie.
Yeah,
like, the entire time.
So for me, I would think that game is higher, but Frui, he wants the guns, the gameplay. He wants that first before the story. And I feel like with this game, I feel like you fall in either one of those categories. You either like the story of being Jimmy and going through school and going off and doing X, Y, and Z, or you don't really care about his social life and you just want to wreak havoc on the game. So I feel like because of the parameters of what we were talking about, I feel like my score was lower because I want to be there for the character. I want to see like what is going to happen over the course of his narrative arc. But if you just wanted to go in there and just throw marbles on the ground and kiss girls and mow lawns to go on dates to the movie, like I feel like you will probably like this game more. But I feel like if this game were to get a remaster, I feel like I would give it another chance and I would like it more, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
of course, yeah.
And I know this is one of the games, like it was up there with Psychonauts forever with one of the games that is most deserving of a sequel, but we'll never see it, basically. So
Quantum Break deserves a sequel and might never get it.
What's that game?
Okay, so it's by Remedy Entertainment, and it's by the people that made Alan Wake. Alan Wake came out first, then Quantum Break, and then they made Control. In the game, there are references to Alan Wake and gameplay mechanics that they used for Control. So there are moments in the game where you can like freeze time and attack enemies and stuff. And it seems like there's like this Remedy universe similar to the Marvel universe where all these characters intertwine.
Okay.
And at the end of the game, the character goes, "I'll come back for you." Okay, are you going to? It's been years. So I bought this game and I played Control first. I loved Control. If you ever want to talk Control, give me a call. I love it. I know everything about that game. It's ridiculous. Then they came out with the DLC that ties in Alan Wake. So I was like, okay, I got to play Alan Wake. So then I play Alan Wake. So I'm prepared for this DLC. And I ended up playing Quantum Break, where the lead female in that game, her name is Beth, and she plays Jesse Faden. Her name's Courtney Hope. And she even talks about like the back and forth. So I feel like there's potential for it. And there's this whole universe out there that I just want to explore. And I feel like that game's like so high up because like the characters are good, the gameplay for the later games are good. I kind of just want Bully to I would play a sequel. Like it's good.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe they will.
Good. It would have to be a different character. You can't continue with Jimmy. It would have to be something else.
Yeah, right. He'd be way too old by now.
Yeah. Jimmy in college, like, where are you going to go? Ohio State.
Oh, man. Imagine this game released in 2022, though. Like, what? That would be a way different game.
Okay.
Probably.
They would be fighting over way different things.
Where's Jimmy going to go? He's a partier. He's a menace to society. WVU. West Virginia. Morgantown. That's where Jimmy's going.
Oh God. All right. We have a couple reviews here from the Twitterverse.
Oh, nice.
Andy from Love Retro BTW says 4 stars. Absolutely love this game. The Offender on Twitter says 5 out of 5. Love that game. Only game in a school setting that actually felt like a real school. Teachers are all incompetent or worse. Students are just as hard to put up with. And
that's brutal.
He must have had a bad time in high school.
Tell me you don't like authority without telling me you don't like authority. Jesus Christ.
I didn't ask him about it. I didn't want to like just, get into that. Like it seemed like he got it out, like his venting.
Yeah.
I didn't want to like dig deeper into that emotional trauma.
Right.
Because that's
you got it out. You got it out.
No offense, by the way.
Yeah. Turbo Force on Twitter said, I love Bully. It was such a fun game, and it was so funny to pick on people in this game. And I can't remember what was that guy's name? Algie?
Oh yeah.
Because his name was Algernon, right?
Yeah.
But how do you say it?
Algie.
Yeah. He said that was his number one person to pick on. And I was like, oh, he's mean to the nerd.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad. I helped him to the bathroom.
Like the classic story.
Yeah, flowers for Algie.
Oh man. It's too funny though. But it did seem like for the most part the community they do really like this game.
That's cool.
I feel like this is one of the games that is dying for a remaster.
Yeah, right. Yeah, remaster or a sequel or something like that.
Either or, really.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could do a brand new one.
I think they could. It'd be fine.
You think?
Just drop some of the language from this one, and then they could swing it.
As long as everybody knows before it gets released that it's very anti-bullying, right?
Yeah, I mean, because this game had a lot of issues with, like when it was coming out, a lot of people tried to cancel it because of like anti-bullying organizations were trying to shut this game down because they thought the main character was a bully,
right?
And they thought that kids emulate what they see in video games, and with the whole GTA thing and those things, like those games being hard to get at some point. I remember I had to bring like around here in New York, like you had to bring a 21 or older person up to the register to buy the game with you.
Yes.
Did you have that issue? Or did you just get it as a present? You didn't know.
I think my brothers got the games.
That makes sense.
No, I was a child that convinced my parents that I was like, oh, I want to watch this, or oh, I want to play that.
Right.
Yeah, I watched Wedding Crashers at an age where you shouldn't have watched Wedding Crashers.
My mother bought me D12 Devil's Night when I was 11 years old.
So
that's fun.
And then they wonder why I have a pretty poor poor language.
Yeah, you have a hard time tightening it up sometimes.
Sometimes, we were doing that. Gary Vee has a video where it's like he just doesn't see, like, who cares? It's just words. Words are just words.
True.
Who cares?
Words are words.
Who the fuck cares?
We were doing that charity stream, and they were like, it's kind of like a PG-ish kind of stream, and I just had the mute button ready for any time something bad happened to Yaiser and Mario Kart.
You're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck this. 11 Yinglings didn't help, but
you shouldn't be drinking that many Yinglings.
Hey, man.
No, I mean, like, you're fine, but
he's practicing for the beer Olympics.
Exactly, Mario Kart. Hello.
Yeah, that's true. We do have beer Olympics.
We should upgrade to Mario Kart 8 in the next beer Olympics trophy.
That's a downgrade for everybody else.
Whoa.
Wait, you don't have Mario Kart on the Switch?
No.
I do.
We do, but we have an event in our beer Olympics, and it's called Beerio Kart. And we play
where you can't drive while you're drinking a beer.
Absolutely. She knows. Yeah, she knows Beerio Kart. That's good.
Yep. Yeah. So during the pandemic, I started streaming, and I might have done a charity stream that was a little more advanced than Beerio Kart.
Yeah, we so we do that, and we played on Mario Kart 64. And Yaiser has been trying to petition we move up to Mario
it doesn't
Kart 8.
age as far as age goes.
It's fine, dude. It's fine.
No, it's not.
We'll get to it.
Thank you, Liv.
No, it's not.
All right. We all have opinions.
Well, I'm with him. No, that game does not age well at all.
Oh, jeez.
Let's go.
All right.
What's that area?
Guys, I'm just going to move you over here so you can't do it. How's that sound?
Oh, you bitch.
That game doesn't age well. And so it was probably in the beginning of the pandemic. A lot of my friends from high school, they've moved out to Connecticut and Texas and Pennsylvania. But there was this one week where we were all together. And we had my house is the place where we would all hang out. And at the time, no longer, we don't have it. But at the time, we had a really, really old TV where you'd plug in your AVI cords. Mm-hmm. And it takes 3 people to move this thing upstairs, throw it out. But I still had my Nintendo 64, and we had this. We just started pouring drinks. We were gonna play games. We played Pokemon Coliseum, and then we ended our night with Mario Kart 64. And my God, when the turn would come up, you didn't know the turn was coming up. The horizon does not exist, and it was god awful. If you played any other Mario Kart games, I feel like this is borderline unplayable.
Well, I'm used to it, okay, so I can play it.
Yeah,
I like
that's
it.
why you want to play it, because you're good at it.
Unplayable. Play me on the Switch.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm awful at the Switch version.
Apparently not as good as I thought I was. Although,
no, I mean, 11 Yinglings will do that
time,
to you.
I might have done a little better.
Yeah, you did a lot better in the first 2 rounds than you did in the championship round. Yeah, true story. All right, now is the time of the show where we randomize what game we'll be playing next week.
We still got quite a bit of show.
Well, we just have to randomize the game, and then we get a guest recommendation from Liv to put on our master list. But we'll do that after the randomization, and then we get out of here. Yeah, how do you forget about this part?
Well, I just felt like we're about to end, and I was like, oh yeah, we didn't do that yet.
We were vibing about how Mario Kart 64 is trash.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we should. Let's end on that.
I'm gonna mute her. I'm gonna mute her when she says it's trash. I'm just kidding.
You want me to spell it out?
No.
Yeah, get a pen and paper.
All right, let's randomize this game so we know what we're playing next week. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's hit it. I'm always amazed by how long that is. All right, so I like to very kind of vaguely describe the game to see if anybody can guess it before I say what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So released in 1991 for the NES, it is an action adventure platformer based on a TV show.
I wasn't even alive yet, so I want to go Crash Bandicoot.
It's not Beavis and Butthead. It is The Simpsons, Bart versus the Space Mutants.
Oh,
yes.
Whoa.
And this is a Patreon game.
Oh, who
suggested
submitted?
by my mommy.
Cool, another one.
Yeah, my mom loved the Simpsons games when she was. I was gonna say when she was a kid, but no, when I was a children.
That's cool.
If my father knows what a podcast is, I'd give him $100.
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny.
There's someone like remaking Hit and Run in Unreal Engine. Have you seen that?
Allegedly. I mean, that game is supposed to be remastered.
There's videos of it.
There's fans that were like, I'm gonna do it.
It looks fucking awesome. There's like clips of there's like gameplay clips. I think just one guy like doing it.
Yeah, I always see people remastering things in Unreal, and it always looks fantastic.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, I've seen people do it with like GoldenEye, and I'm like, can somebody please do that?
Just do it.
Yeah, just make it look great.
Well, if you want to play the original, Nintendo's bringing it back.
Yeah, true story.
If you pay for their online thing.
Hopefully they fix the controls though, because those N64 controls for a first-person shooter are not great.
Trash.
Yeah. Well, we just played Turok last week, and we know that the first-person shooter for the N64 is rough.
Yeah, it's wasn't fun.
Yeah, how can
it was fun, but it.
I mean, there's one joystick. It's kind of tough to do that.
Yeah,
everybody's used to 2 joysticks now. So how do you do it?
That's true. Have you played Bomberman?
I haven't really played Bomberman.
So long.
Okay,
ago,
so Liv's recommendation is you play Bomberman.
Which Bomberman?
The only one that I've played was on the GameCube.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that one is called. Can look it up right now.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So Bomberman for the game.
I feel like it's called Bomberman Next Generation, but I
Google.
will look it up.
That sounds right.
Bomberman for GameCube.
Bomberman Generation. I was so close.
Bomberman Generation. All right. You know what's crazy is
I love that game.
We haven't played any GameCube games yet. Yeah.
That was my favorite Nintendo console ever.
Yeah.
We played SSX Tricky, and in my childhood, that was a GameCube game.
We've played a few multi-platform games that have come out for the GameCube, but we haven't played like.
It's amazing.
It's so good. Yeah.
Have you played Herb's Sims in the City?
I played a little bit of it as a kid, but I haven't played it recently, so I don't really remember too much of it.
I feel bad for you. Another game, if you want to call me back for, I'm here.
I'll take all the recommendations you got.
The Herbs is. I want them to.
Hold on. What was the first one we talked about? What was the first one we talked about?
Oh yeah,
Bomberman.
Monster. What? Monster Prom.
Monster Prom. That's $12 on Steam. Greatest game ever. Bring a friend. You could play.
Bring a friend to prom.
Share a screen or whatever it's called on Steam.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should stream it. We should play that.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, let me give you a recommendation. So, okay. First of all, this game, the dialogue sounds like someone just smoked a lot of crack and wrote the game. But there's a bunch of different characters. Totally suggest making up your own voices. There's no voice. There's no voice acting. It's a visual novel.
Okay.
They'll say like 1 or 2 words. If you really want to get the most out of this game, you play with another person and you take turns of reading.
Sounds fun to get drunk and do that.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah. And my girlfriend and I, we played and we drank and we like, there's like this one character that's like a nerd. So we would be like, oh my God, like this is who he is. And so
that's
great time. Not serious at all. Get a date to prom.
I mean, I'll try.
Right, yeah.
I'll try.
I've played a stupid amount of that game.
So next week we're playing Simpsons, Bart versus the Space Mutants, and we are going to be joined by Bill, who joined us in our season finale. That's what it's called. Our season 1 finale. So I guess he might just be our closer now because he's season 1 finale,
Bill
season 2 finale.
Gaming and collecting.
No, Bill from A Gamer Looks at 40.
Another great Bill.
I was gonna say, have you listened to that podcast? That's a good podcast.
I've recruited everyone that's in this server. Come on, man.
True story. True story.
Cool.
But yeah, so he'll be on, and I guess check us out next week when we're playing The Simpsons.
Cool.
Thank you again, Liv, for joining us. I really, really appreciate it. Do you want to tell the people one last time where they can find you?
Thank you for having me. I think Bully's a great game. Hope it gets remastered.
For sure.
I'm Liv. I'm one half of Between Two Gamers. My counterpart, his name is Furry, the only man in my life, as I like to introduce him on our podcast. He loves it. I swear to God.
That's so funny.
So we produce 2 podcasts a week. Wednesday is our main topic of the week. We do some serious things like game reviews, but also every once in a while, I convince the man to do something kind of out there. Why does this game have a cookbook? What game is this? And we describe the cover art of a video game cover and see if the other person could guess it.
That's cool. That sounds fun.
Oh, that was a really fun episode to do. Because you really got to get into detail. And if you don't, like, the other person's kind of fucked. So, and every Friday we do the Buzz Between. It's on the same feed as Between Two Gamers. And it's our gaming news and rumors. And if it's a very dry week, I come up with something. So you can find us on all podcasting platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, the whole 9 yards.
Awesome. Very guys, cool. So go check them out over there at Between Two Gamers. And like I said, thank you very much for coming on. And we will talk to you guys next week.
Yeah. Peace.
See you later.